Meghan Markle always claimed, of course, not to know anything about the British monarchy. In fact, she didn't really know anything. She had to, well, she didn't want to Google them because if you remember, when she first met Prince Harry, all she really needed to know was he nice? She didn't care about anything else, the power, the wealth, the history, the things that all went with the British monarchy. Odd, isn't it? Because this particular address here in the very heart of London, just off Edgware Road, Marble Arch, in fact does have an association with the ex-royal known as the Duchess of Sussex. That's right. But she also had a reason for coming to visit this particular address. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for taking the time out to join me today. It is nice to have your company. We'll have a lovely wave. Morning to you all, or good night, whatever you're doing. This is what I love about this channel. It's being able to share stories with you that are not covered by the mainstream media. And it's always a pleasure to tell you the other side of the story. Because when you just take a sharp turn off Edgware Road here in the very heart of London, you wouldn't know what had gone on here 70, 80 plus years ago now. It is, of course, a place that when you think you could see a lot of money had been around here, and in particular of that time would have been for the very wealthy. Step on Edgware Road now, it looks like you're in a third world country, but it wasn't always like that. And even this particular address today still holds some clout. If you wanted to buy an apartment in here, Bryanston Court, well, it would cost you quite a bit of money, around 5 to 8 million for 2 to 3 bedroom. You understand how this works. But this is no ordinary set of flats. This was the former home of what was to be, of course, the Duchess of Windsor. That's right, the infamous Wallis Simpson. And what's interesting about this is, as I said at the start of this video, it's when you get talking to people that have worked with the ex-royals who are now free from NDAs, and they start to tell you about what it was like perhaps driving them round, particularly in the early days. Now, as you know, the Duchess of Sussex, as she was then, Meghan Markle, budding girlfriend to Prince Harry, well, she didn't really know much about the British monarchy. But then what was told to her, of course, was the fact that the late and brilliant Duke of Edinburgh, His Royal Highness Prince Philip, referred to her as DOW, the Duchess of Windsor. Some people say it was an affectionate moniker. She took it the wrong way, as only you could imagine. But here's again where it gets more interesting, because one night when she was a little bit bored, apparently staying in Kensington, she decided to have a tour, a wander around London, as it were. And one of the particular places that she wanted to look at, according to that driver, and as ever we have to say allegedly, was the fact that she was keen to know exactly the sort of haunts that the other former American that rocked the royal family would have based herself at. Where did she go? Hotels, nightclubs, that sort of stuff. So the driver brought her here, the former home of Wallis Simpson. And apparently, according to them, have to be careful what you say there is a picture of Meghan outside this building. That's right, allegedly. And they took it. And I think what's fascinating here is apparently she just wanted to know what she'd encountered, the sort of stories. Now, if you didn't know anything about the American sort of world, why would you be interested in the American connection to our wonderful British monarchy? But apparently Meghan was keen to find out what made Wallis tick. And not only that, but they picked up some books from a bookstore and things went, shall we say, swimmingly at that point. What's more fascinating is, of course, according to that particular individual, Meghan insisted literally on that interview later on that she didn't know anything about the British monarchy, but she knew enough about Wallis, and we already know that she knew enough about the late and beautiful Princess Diana. But of course, according to her, and Harry believed her, no, she didn't know anything at all about the British monarchy. Strange, isn't it? How things come to light. As ever, it's only a matter of time. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.